What's up, traders? Welcome back to the Day Trading Show. Today, we have a special guest, Reverse Long. Dave is here to talk all about his trading experience over the last 2 years. He is a strong bear. He runs the Reverse Bear podcast. We talk all about his perspective on trading, his perspective on traveling. We cover a lot, and Dave is such an entertaining guy. He's a great talker. I know you're going to love this episode. So sit back and enjoy. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. So today we've got another special guest, my brother David. Dave, should we just call you Reverse Long and just keep it nicknames only here?
Yeah, Reverse Long's that's me, man. That's all
good.
me. So yeah, go ahead. So
I love
either
it,
way.
bro. I love it. I love it. So, like I said, really excited for today's conversation. James and I have been looking forward to this because I think you bring a lot of unique perspectives, David, not just on trading, but like I said to you before the podcast, traveling, and there's a lot of stuff I want to talk to you about. So I'm really looking forward to this. So first, David, if you could just introduce yourself as Reverse Long, of course, but maybe tell us what does Reverse Long mean, and how long have you been trading and sharing your content on social media?
Okay, so first of all, so Reverse Long, that's a good question. So when I try to explain it to people outside of trading, they get like mind effed. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but it's like reverse. So I'm a big fan, or I was a big fan of like the Flash series on Marvel.
Okay.
And the Flash he has like the alternate Flash, like the evil Flash is the reverse Flash, but it's so that's all that. So and so then you got that kind of stemmed from that, the reverse. So the concept came from that, like the reverse is like the opposite, the evil side.
Okay.
So like you got the longs, the bulls, the longs, and the bears, the shorts.
Yep.
And which is a short position is like almost like a reverse of a long position. So
Sure.
it was a word play with that, and it's just like going off the reverse Flash, like the evil Flash. Right now it's really funny because like you got the evil short sellers. So I'm like the reverse long,
Right.
the opposite of the long. I'm the other
Right.
side of the long. So it came up to me one day, and like I used to be in the Tim Sykes challenge. I still am in Tim Sykes challenge technically, but in the chat room, and I would be like, back in the day you could change your name all the time, and I was just starting out. I was a noob. I didn't really know what name to fit, and then like for like my first year and a half, I was playing around with these names, and then like one day I decided to just do short selling only. I saw like Tim Grittani and Ducks, and I saw this one quote from Bruce Lee, like like he says, like, I fear the guy that's mastered a kick 10,000 times or something like that. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go short from now on. I keep losing my ass going long. I'm just gonna go short. And then I also liked the whole, going after, not going after, but like doing, like, there's a purpose for short sellers in the market, like to bring balance, and like the SEC's not doing their job. All these evil characters taking advantage of pump and dumps and all this. So I kind of, I vibed with it. So I just decided to go short, and then I decided to become the reverse long. I was like, you know what? This is gonna be my identity. I'm gonna become this. And like as I was studying and hitting the books, I got every single book on short selling. I studied everything short selling, fundamentals. I looked at all the short sellers that came before me, all the big ones. I studied them. So I think that helped, man. I think it really helped a lot. Like when you make it your identity, like it goes, like, even if you're a trader, you want to become a trader, you become the trader. You're not just half-assing it. Like that's becomes you. I think it really helped. And then when I started the podcast, I decided to do the bear theme, which was what I was doing all along. And I called my podcast The Friendly Bear, and I was like, I am the reverse long. And that character that I made for myself, that I became, that pseudonym, whatever that I became, it came into play, and we can discuss it later too if you want. I don't know if you know, I went on the trip to Colombia to expose the fraud. I felt like the James Bond.
Bro.
I was like, I am the reverse long became, like, in my head, like this James Bond character going to shut down this bad company.
That's
so I
crazy.
took a flight. Yeah. So out of, we're going to get all into Puerto Rico and all that. But like when I was at Puerto Rico, I made friends. One of my best friends now to this day, a big short seller there that does reports and stuff, and has analyst reports, a firm. And then I brought up to him this company that was doing like text messages, campaigns, and emails, and basically pumping a stock. And I said, this is a cannabis company based in Colombia. Let's look into it. So we looked into it, and I took a flight to Colombia. I took a motorcycle up to the cultivation facility with the pen, with the camera. I got all the documentation. I got into a semi altercation with one of the execs over there, and like I saw in my head, I'm the reverse lung. What do you expect me to do? I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna show up at your door, and
You said
and
I'm
this
the
company
reverse
is
long. What do you expect, bro? I love it. Wait, so
yeah. So
your
that was
purpose
part
was
of
to
it,
go there to expose this company for not
Yes.
being as legitimate as they say they
Yeah.
were online. Did you expose them? Were you right or were you wrong?
Yeah, it was right. It was one of the best reports past few years, in my opinion. So, and it's a well-respected report out in the whole short seller
That's amazing.
report community, So
That's amazing.
yeah, the stock was trading at like $25 or something. I think it's like at 30 cents now or something
No
like that,
way.
So yeah,
Bro,
it's
don't
ridiculous.
mess with
But
the reverse long. Bro, you got to
yeah,
get
no,
merch or
I'll show
something.
up at your door. Oh, and yeah, so like
Show up at
these
your
pump and
door.
dumps, the pump and dumps, they if the CEO or some they're probably talking about me, maybe, like, hey, this
Bro,
guy
for
reverse long,
sure.
he might show up.
Right, bro. No, that's
So
crazy. That's crazy. But you know what, bro? Good for you because I think a lot of guys don't have the balls to think and articulate an idea and then stand up and be willing to be wrong and even go to the extent to prove themselves right like that. I mean, think about guys, I'm sure you know, like Bill Ackman has done this many times where they take a stance and they do all the research and due diligence needed to prove their point right. And they end up being right sometimes. And of course, no one's right 100%. But bro, that's a crazy story. So now, do you have another company that's on your list to go after
yeah,
next?
I mean, I probably won't go there, but I can mention it now. It's been a few months, but like earlier, late 2022,
Okay.
there was one company in Uruguay. It's
Okay.
next to Argentina,
Yeah.
and they have this like, the thing is these and I love to travel. We're gonna talk about traveling too. So like, this is like an adventure for me. So like, I'm made for this,
Bro, this is
and I'm the,
crazy. This should be a YouTube channel, bro. This should be a YouTube
so.
show.
Yeah, so I was gonna go to Uruguay. This company DLO,
Okay.
DLO, they do like some payment processing, and thing is, when you locate the facilities and all this outside of the country, it becomes really really hard to like, you know uh it's probably a lot of fraud and a lot of, fudging going on.
Of
So
course.
when you see the stock price going up exponentially, it's a red flag. Or like the market cap is just so big, it's a red flag. But like the thing is, the Chinese companies, you can't even enter the country, especially during COVID and all that. You couldn't enter the
Of
country, so
course.
they get away with a lot. I can't go over there.
Right.
So,
Right.
but
Not yet.
but
Not till you
yeah,
get a secret identity, bro.
not yet.
You need a fake passport or something, and then you can sneak your way in.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
Before
But-
before you go any further on this traveling stuff,
yeah, yeah.
as a short seller, I'm sure because a lot of people that watch this show are day traders, so they're buying and selling, not just buying or selling. I would guess most of our listeners will do both. So for you to pick, short selling, and you said you like the vibe of it, I'm curious. The first thought that comes to me is like, I understand how you say it brings balance to the market and everything like that, and it fits your personality. But how do you know when to short something? Like, how do you not get stuck holding a short for a month and then potentially losing money on it? Because, yeah, you might be right. It's a fraud, but the fraud can continue for months. Look at FTX or Bernie Madoff. They continued fraud for many months.
Yes, that's an excellent point. And at first, as a noob, I just had good examples that I was mimicking that were successful or similar to me with the amount of capital I had starting out,
Okay.
Britannia, Ducks, whatever.
Sure.
So I decided to, go that route first, mostly because they were successful doing it, and it was a clear concept. We know the end game. Okay, we
Right.
know the end game, but the middle is the hard part where you
Right.
can squeeze everybody and all that. Now to hold it for, you can't hold them for months these days,
Okay.
especially because they have this thing in the equity stocks called on the short side, the borrow fee rate. And the fee
Mm.
rate, when there's a lot of shorts in it, the fee rate goes up. So you're paying your
Mm.
broker or you're paying the clearing firm a lot of fees. So
Got it.
short selling is difficult. You got to get the locate fees these days. You got the commissions. You have the extra margin requirements.
Of course.
So you need more capital to short,
Okay.
and you have the borrow fee rates. If you hold it overnight, there's a
Charge you.
fee, and yeah, so the fee is calculated. It's a difficult calculation. I IB, Interactive Brokers,
Yeah.
gives you like just the number, and like
Okay.
I just have a rule under 80% is manageable for a few weeks to a month, or
Okay.
a couple of months max, pushing it. Now if it goes over like 200, 300, 400%, it starts to get really toxic.
Right.
That indicates that there's a lot of short sellers in it, and that the
Right.
squeezes can be, it's a, it's one of the, it's a way bigger indicator than like short interest, because short interest, it was stocks, gets reported twice a month
Right.
by the what do you call it, the exchanges. But
Yeah.
borrow fee rate gets every day, sometimes multiple times a day, like on Interactive Brokers, but every broker does it different, so there's a lot of nuances
Sure.
to
Will
short
someone take the
selling.
other side of that trade? Will someone long that in that case? If they see that the
Yes.
borrow, right? If they see it that
Yeah.
everyone is short,
One
they're going to long it and
ex
squeeze it.
Excellent. No one ever talks about that. So, publicly, but like, I had a friend of mine in my group. He sees that and he's like, oh wow, 400, 500% borrow fee rate, 1000% fee rate.
Right.
It's probably a good long. And the thing is with longs, you don't have any of those fees, and you don't,
Right.
so, and the margin requirements are easier. You can use leverage and stuff a lot more smoothly.
Right.
But with shorting, you can't really. It's really tough because, like, for example, there's a stock GNS.
Right.
The one that's been, have you heard it in Twitter, all over the news, whatever,
I
saying that
think I'm catching up on this. This is what happened today.
yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
So
The CEO is
catch
saying
everybody
he's
up. Yeah.
gonna,
And because it was
yeah,
basically like kind of like a mini flash crash, it looked like, right?
yeah. So GNS, a rundown. So it's a stock been listed on the exchange for about 200 days or so.
Okay. So
It
it's new.
IPO'd last year. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
relatively new. It's based out of Singapore.
Okay.
Um, I forgot what they do exactly, but it doesn't matter. But
Doesn't.
anyways, a lot of Chinese fraud. I don't know. So there was a lot of like fake Chinese profiles, like the movie The Tinder Swindler, but
Yeah.
the Chinese stock version. So you
Really?
have all these fake WhatsApp people with like cute Chinese girls messaging you saying, hey, my dad, my uncle has this stock, whatever, you want to buy it.
Really?
And then, yeah, and then they dump it on you.
That's
So like,
crazy.
yeah, it's always the Chinese. So the Chinese are like, they're known for that, and it's like a lot of people short that. So like they'll talk to these characters, and they
Oh
don't know
my
that they're talking
God.
to a short seller,
That's
So
that's smart.
yeah,
It's very
yeah,
smart.
it's crazy. So like when I hear the Chinese are on a certain stock, that stock is like on a certain list for me, of as a category of, okay, this is the Chinese pump and dump
Right.
IPO stocks, and they
Right.
target IPOs. So this stock GNS was one of those, and it's based in Singapore. Remember, I was saying about the foreign companies are kind of sketch, and on top of that is Chinese. So like, so there we go. So that's it's in that basket already. And then recently, the stock was trading at like 30 cents or something. It's just down the gutter. And the CEO comes out and puts there's a bunch of press releases saying that the CEO is being quoted as saying, hey, the short sellers are targeting us. They're evil. They're doing naked shorting, and it's not our fault that the company is trading at these prices. We just hired a former FBI agent to conduct an investigation of all the naked short selling. And like, this is like a movie that's been played so many times before, man. It's like when I was I've only been trading for a few years, a couple years, 2.5 years, 3 years. The time goes by so fast.
It
But
does.
yeah, but like the amount of work in the beginning that I put into studying like all the older material, like 2010, 11, because I got a whole ton of material, and I was just going by the years. I was just starting from one to like, so like I, through all those periods that I studied from 2010, 11, 12, 13 of Brittany trading back then and all that,
Right.
um, you there was instances of the same exact thing. A CEO comes out like on an OTC stock. I don't know, the OTCs is like the shittier version
Of course.
of the listed stocks.
Right.
And the CEO saying, "Oh, it's the evil short sellers. It's well, they keep shorting the naked shorts, the naked shorts." It's like this conspiracy against this naked shorting, but like I've never seen I don't even know how to do a naked short. I don't, the brokers I call, like, they don't they have to account. They have a clearing firm, and it's just like they want to, everybody loves, if you're a long
Yeah.
position person,
Yeah.
there's a lot of gullible people out there that like to be put into like the victim mentality, and that's doesn't go. It's really a thing, man. It's like victimhood mentality. Like you're bag holding a position. You don't want to accept accountability about the stock, the truth that this company is not good. That it's the Chinese fraud has been all over it. It's based overseas. It has unaudited earnings and unaudited stuff. It's just like all this stuff that doesn't line up. But now the CEO is saying naked short, so now you fall. It's not my fault. It's not
Right.
my due
Right. You
diligence.
have
It's not.
somebody else that you can put the accountability on,
It's
so to speak.
them, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
so
No, bro,
that's
but that's how society is nowadays. The victimhood mentality is
yes. Oh
everywhere, bro.
man,
That's not a
yeah, man,
surprise. I think that's not a
yeah,
surprise. When you get, let's
yeah,
talk really quick. Do you have a really, because I know you document all your trades and your P&L every
yeah.
day. It's posted on that website. What is it called where you track everything?
Uh,
The
Trader
leaderboard?
Sync.
Trader
You
Sync.
guys
Yeah.
use it too? Trader Sync. They do some forex stuff
Yep. So
also.
when you're documenting that, I'm sure this should be an easy answer. Can you tell us one of your best days and the lesson that it taught you? And then also maybe one of your worst days and the lesson that that taught you as well?
Best days, you know. So the thing is, so with shorting especially, you have a lot of best days. Now the ones that stick out the most are not the best, the red days, the big red days.
Of course.
So you know, so those stick out. So that's where we get our lessons from, especially
Yep.
with trading equities. I know with forex, you guys are trading technicals and more. Uh, it's different with trading stocks. It's like, you know, especially short selling, you're gonna have an outlier loss every once in a while. It's just about containing and managing that outlier loss, so it's you can learn from it and move on instead of getting blown up or something, you know. So there has to be risk management with it.
Okay.
So, you know, like there's gonna be max losses,
Sure.
like you have a max loss set, and then you hit the max loss, and that's where the pain comes from. As far as big wins, um, yeah, I've had a lot of great days, a lot of good days, but and those are good. You journal them well, but the red days are the ones that you really get your lessons. And
Yeah.
for me especially, um, I guess, you know, since I started with not a lot of money, and the way I grew up it was like middle class, whatever. I just really, and I worked hard jobs growing up, so I have a really respect for money. And if when I lose money, it's really, you know, I want to get the lessons out of it. I want to get all the value I can
Of
from that
course.
loss.
Of
You
course.
know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think yeah, that's the way it should be, you know. So I know a lot of beginner traders, they just trade, and they don't want to they don't want, I mean, they would like to get the lessons from the loss, but it's
But
hard
they
to
don't want to
face
face
it.
the loss. Right. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
You
that
ignore the
it's like,
losses sometimes when you're a new trader. You don't even want to take accountability for them. You're like, oh, I didn't mean to do that, or whatever you want to justify it as. Like you said, victimhood, blame
yeah,
somebody else, try to dump the blame to
yeah,
somebody else.
yeah. You know, it's easy just to sleep through it or whatever. You know what I
Right.
mean? But
Right.
to like, you just take a nap and you just like, you know, I'll just sleep through it and just watch movies and watch Netflix or something, and let this,
No, for sure. But like anything
pain go
else, the
away.
hard thing is what's better for you than the comfortable thing, just like anything else.
Yeah, exactly. And to succeed, trading in general, you got to do what the 1% are not doing. You
I
know,
agree.
so what's if it, you know, so that the few people that are journaling extensively, like I know a lot of traders that I look up to and that are doing well, like I know they journal hardcore. They sit
Right.
through those losses. They it's and you staring into the screen, and yeah, you just go through it, you know.
Yep.
So for me, you know, reading books helped a lot. Like
Could you
for
give
example,
some books that maybe stick out to you that
yeah,
you remember? I'm sure people want to know those.
SMB Capital, the
Of course.
playbook, you know, Mike Bellafiore, how to think. It's called
Yep.
the playbook. How and the caption under it says how to think like a professional trader.
Yep.
Like that right there. It's so that it was funny is it was not funny, but like I was journaling semi the way the book describes. So when I read the book, I was like, oh, I'm journaling. This is correct. I'm not just being weird, because I would journal about like my emotions and like deep about like why those emotions are there. And maybe it's because of this behavior in the past, and like how I can, you know, you know, go about that in the future. And I would say like, why am I feeling FOMO? Why do I want to get rich so fast? Why do I, you know, all these questions that you ask yourself as you're journaling. And then I read the book, the playbook, and it just like it made a lot, I was able to like really organize my thoughts better. So the playbook really helped out with that. Journaling as you're getting squeezed in a trade. Why did you get I would ask myself, why did I oversize in this area? I knew not to do that. Why did I break the rule? I have so much discipline outside of trading. Why, when I'm trading this, does that discipline not exist? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. I'm so disciplined with everything personally for me.
Have you come up
Uh
with a good answer to that question?
yeah, it's so I worked on like with the coach
Who was
late
it?
last year.
Can you say?
Sam Dagash. I did a
Okay.
couple of podcasts with him, and we went deep into like traumas from the past, and we
Mm.
just worked on letting that go and solutions for that. So like I think because like it's almost like a self-sabotage you have in the back of your mind. You really got to
Traumas on the
work at
chart or
that.
traumas off the chart?
Off the chart, off the
Wow.
chart. So
Okay.
it's like
Interesting.
because it doesn't make any sense.
Hmm.
My diet is flawless. My workouts are flawless. I'm disciplined. I track all my sleep. I'm managing all my sleep data, all my food data. I read 10 pages. That's 75 hard thing. I don't know if you guys heard of that.
Yeah.
I do that
Every
regardless.
day.
I do it times two, not any times two. It's a
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
bit
No, I know
more.
what you mean. It's like
But
it's the lifestyle that you live. I understand.
yeah, so I'm just really you go and I'm an architect by before trading, so like everything is detailed and oriented. I watch everything, but when it comes to trading, why did I have the rules, I have my plan set. Why did I why did I break this? Why did I break that? It doesn't make any sense. So it's and so I worked on that, and it's another thing. We're human, so the human being is always on a journey on their own to we're not perfect, so we always got to be working at it. Like if you want to take your trading as far as you can personally, you always got to be adapting, always got to be working. Like the market right now, I was trading this morning and it's going crazy, but I was trading this morning since I got back from traveling, and it's different than November when I was trading, or early December.
Yep.
So you gotta adapt. So
Yep.
those rules from back then, I can't. It's like morphs, and like you always got to be adapting. So now, like the sizing rules are different for what I'm doing as opposed to what I did last year.
Smaller or
Um,
bigger now?
Smaller, especially. I just came back from traveling, so I can't just jump right
You
in.
got
You
to
know what I
earn your
mean?
keep.
So
You got to verify to yourself
yes,
that you're back still in the zone. Because no, I was traveling.
exactly.
I traveled December. You remember I was in Europe. I didn't travel as long as you did, but like I feel the same way. When the whole month this year so far, all of my trades I've been trading very well, but they're all smaller size than they should be, just because I want to feel like I'm back in the flow before I start to increase my position size. So, do you feel like because the market is different, that forced you to change the position size, or was it more something that you just jumped the gun and said, I'm going to do this so I don't go off tilt? Like, do you know yourself that well?
Yeah, I first of all, I hate traveling and trading and like coming back from. I learned the hard way. Like the first couple of times I came back from traveling, it's like you're off. You know what I mean? So, yeah, trading super small and just observing the market. Like right now, I observed. Okay, so the market, people came in. Well, first of all, there's a tax loss selling in December,
Right.
and then after tax loss selling, the theory is a historical theory, which is historically January is bullish because people buy back what they sold in December.
Right.
So that's a bullish component. And overall, now on top of that, you have the behavior of people. The market has shifted to bearish. People started January with the bear, like all these fee rates that I was talking about for short selling, they
Yeah.
all went higher because the demand is higher to short. So
Mm.
the market's overcrowded with short selling. You got
Mhm.
like Bed Bath and Beyond going bankrupt all over
Right.
the news, everywhere.
Right.
Bankrupt, 0 0, buyout for pennies on the dollar, and it's like squeezing super nasty. And it's that's not buyer. I mean, that's some buying, but like that's a short sellers getting squeezed.
Yeah.
And one thing I got out of doing my podcast is I've interviewed a lot of people that like for older people that have been around and stuff, the bear markets and all that, like 2000s, early 2000s, mid 2008, 2010 or whatever. And I studying history is important because like we didn't have a bear market that whole time from like 2010 to basically now or yet last year.
Yeah.
But like in the bear market, the violent squeezes happen.
Really?
So So yeah, so all these people that came in January, this is what I'm thinking. It's like you come up with a thesis and you
Yeah,
work
yeah,
it
yeah,
out. You
yeah.
play it out. So yeah, all these people came in with loaded accounts to short sell, novice short sellers, Bed Bath and Beyond going to zero, all these companies going to zero. And and yeah, they probably are. But in the meantime, all those short sellers are overcrowding themselves, and these squeezes are happening.
Right.
So in January, all these what I've seen since I got back, and actually what before I got back, is a lot of crazy violent squeezes. So trading that small or around that small and adjusting my criteria to be higher standards for an entry, that comes with like playing smaller size and adjusting and observing because my theory is a lot of those short sellers that started January, it's a gung ho, they're gonna blow up or they're gonna get burned really bad, and then they're not gonna be so aggressive. So I gotta, I can play both ways. I can play the hardcore squeezes. I just raise my criteria, instead of my entry level at a certain percentage, I increase it to a crazy percentage. Like
Right.
enter at 500% on day 2, day 3 for a first red day or something. I don't know. Like I have this criteria. Instead of last year, I was doing a lot of short seller, shorting small scalpy kind of thing. Like if a stock goes up 40-50% intraday, I will short it and then cover at the VWAP, I don't the volume weighted
Yep.
average
Yep.
price, or hold it until a flush or something like that. This year, overall, you're gonna get burned if you do that because
Right.
the squeezes are going way higher than that.
Right.
So for the moment, but that's just like it's like riding it's like surfing a wave, you know. When the waves, different seasons, the waves are different. So so that's all about like just adapting and observing and
Yep.
knowing that the market's constantly changing and you got to change with it, and that's how you know uh you do stuff like meditation and
Mm.
practice discipline and things like that in and
Eat
outside of
healthy, work
trading.
out, all that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
What you mentioned the VWAP. What other indicators are you using?
VWAP. Okay, so VWAP's a big one for intraday.
Have you
For
met Brian Shannon
multi-day,
yet? Did you interview Brian Shannon on the podcast yet?
yeah, I interviewed him
Nice.
Oh wow.
once. Yeah, once. Yeah, it was a good one. It was a good one. I have his book also.
I hear there's a new book coming
Volume.
too, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
he's got
new
a new
one.
book coming
Yeah,
out
he's
as
a
well.
new one.
Wow.
I saw his tweet. Yeah. I think it's today or yesterday he tweeted he just mailed a bunch to Amazon.
Yep.
So I'll be buying that for
Yep.
sure. Um so VWAP also what else? Oh, for multi-day, if I'm swinging a short selling position, I'll use the EMA 4, the 4 EMA, the 4-day EMA, the estimated moving average of the 4-day
Yeah.
as a cover. So
Interesting.
if something gets really really extended off the 4 EMA, it's I'll be looking to short it with a several day thesis, swing position
Yeah.
mindset, and then to cover at the 4 EMA. So that's where it comes like it's like an art and trading is like an
Right.
art and a science. There's
Definitely
no
is.
exact number extension, but if it's just separated so far from the 4 EMA, I will I would look to cover at the 4 EMA. So like
Yeah.
that'll be one. Um, what else? I look at 1 minute candles, 3 minute candles, 5 minute candles, 1 year, 180 day. I'm constantly zooming in, zooming
You're
out.
looking at a lot of
Um,
different things to kind of paint the picture for you. Where are you getting the
yes.
initial list of stocks that you're looking for? Are you using stocks to trade? Are you pulling from somewhere else? What are you doing? Are you sitting there up all night doing research? Like, how are you figuring out where to look?
Um, okay, so I got a lot of stuff going on these screens. So if you can't see, so I got these 2 screens here, and then I
How
got
many you
2
got
more over
total there?
here.
3 or 4?
Four,
Four.
and I need them all. I need them all. So like when I'm traveling, I'm really I really can't trade. I'm trading off a little laptop
Right.
with the extra screen.
Right.
But yeah, here I have usually trade ideas. It's a little bright, so I put it down. But trade ideas gives me the halts, stocks that are halting. I have a headset also for trading, and it'll notify me when the halts are happening. Then I'll as soon as
Mm.
I get something halted, even if I'm getting coffee or something, I'll get, oh, halt this stock, and it'll say the ticker name.
Yep.
And usually I recognize a lot of these like shitty tickers. So if it's a shitty ticker, I'll be looking. I already know what to do. I already know in my head, um, what the float is more or less, what the market cap, has it been promoted? Was there a stock promotion pump and dump campaign on it?
So it starts with the
Was there? So
halt,
I
and then
kind
it's
of
like, yeah, it's like all of your trading every day, the experience of being in the
yeah,
market. You then say,
yes,
okay, yeah,
yeah,
this one I remember this. Why does it start with a halt?
yeah.
Is that because that's what something
That's
it's run up so much that you want to short it?
that it's one example. I have other stuff that I go
Sure.
to, but halts are if it happens like in the middle of the day, and I look. So halts just like, okay, it's on my radar. Now I'm like alert, and I go
Right.
and see, okay, does it have news? And I'll
Right.
look at I have several, like 3 or 4 news uh services, and then
Sure.
if it has news, I'll read if it has news. Yesterday, for example, GROM, I think it halted late day,
Yeah.
and as soon as it halted, I was like doing something else, not even trading. I was done for the day. I was like, oh, halt, oh shit, GROM. I was like, in my head, I was like, that's a paid pump and dump. I get their
You
text
already knew.
messages,
Yep.
and I've shorted it in the past. It's like a TV cartoon company. It's just a dilution. It has all the toxic dilution. So I already knew, and I'm like, okay. And then so I'm looking the halt scanner. I'm looking to see how much it halted, because the halt usually it's pretty exponential. So it halted like at 30% high. So it continued to 40, 50%. And then I shorted it at 60. But the thing is that stock is so diluted that it
By
was
who?
really
Do you mean by
extended.
buyers or sellers?
Diluted. So they've done offerings. So in the stock market, we have these offerings, like companies need cash. So
Got
like
it.
when they go up exponentially, the CEO, this is the dirty part. So the CEO is usually on the phone. He calls up the investment banks, all these like lower tier investment banks that I have a whole list.
Okay.
Uh, there's like 10 of them,
Are they
so it's
subsidiaries of the
just
big banks, these lower tier investment
no,
banks?
no,
They're just
they're
their own
they're they're
banks.
they're the equivalent of like payday loans.
Okay. Like
They're
AmScal,
like,
Amway, whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you'll see some of them based out of like the Cayman Islands or the
Okay.
Bahamas,
Got it.
or
Got it.
something. But when you're in this world, there's only like a handful of them. So you know that if you studied and you've been around the experience, you're trading intraday, you got skin in the game. You're gonna, and you start to you see them all the time. It's not like I studied it and like I'm a genius. It's just
No,
like I see them all the time.
I understand.
So so yeah, so they're on the phones with these guys trying to, because their stock just increased exponentially. So they want to get an offering done, and they need cash.
Got it.
So usually a lot of these companies they're stressed for cash. They're like,
Right.
ideally for shorting, you want to it's a general rule for myself and some other short sellers like me. Um Ideally they need to have less than 3 months of cash. When they have less than 3 months of cash, they're looking to do an offering, and they have to have this thing called a shelf in the ready to go. So they have an S3, a shelf with
Okay.
this with a big amount of cash available. That means that the shareholders voted for this and it's ready to go. They have a deal already in place with the investment bank. They just need the stock price to go up, and they make the phone call, it gets done.
Okay.
Now, this sounds this is hard, short selling is rough. You got to know your
Right.
stuff. So
Yeah.
but there is a service called dilution tracker. You pay like $100 every quarterly, and it aggregates all this stuff for you. It's made life easier. But my first couple of years I had to do this the hard way, and
Right.
like I was all over the place. Dilution tracker as
Helps a lot.
service has cleaned the game up. Yeah, they even have a guy you can chat with in there, and it's
Nice.
like and that's how you learn.
Got it.
So
No, that
yes,
I didn't understand how you were using that word. It actually has its own meaning when it comes to trading stocks. So it's very
yeah,
interesting. I'm sure that
think
was
think
new.
about it like you have an orange juice, really
Yeah.
nice orange juice, freshly squeezed with the pulp and all that. I like the one with the pulp, and it's delicious, it's nutritious, it's good. That's the way the companies should be. But then they start, the companies, when they dilute more shares into it by calling these banks and getting cash, those investment banks are selling those shares that they get for discounted prices to dilute the stock. Just like that orange juice you got, you put water in it,
Water in it.
and now
Yeah.
it's diluted.
Yeah.
It's not as good.
No, that makes
So
sense.
that's why this GROM stock had done that many times. They've done it like every 4 to 6 months. They've done an offering. So their stock has been heavily diluted. That orange juice is like almost
It's
water right
water.
now.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Right.
water.
Right.
So, so yeah,
So,
so the squeeze on those that have been heavily diluted is very, they don't, they're short lived. So
right.
I have
So it's
confidence in it, even if I'm so yeah, even if I'm getting squeezed, I can manage my
the
way
hold.
out of the
Yeah.
squeeze.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's there's a lot going on there.
Do you know your average hold time? Like how many days?
Average hold time. So I'm a different kind of short seller, you know. So
Oh, we know. Anybody
it's
listening this far
so
into the episode knows that you are definitely a different kind of short seller, bro.
so yeah, with shorting, I was telling my mom the other day when I was traveling, I was sending her photos and stuff, and I was telling her, I think I'm a good trader because I could take a lot of pain, and I was like, I was you know, I had before I travel, I did a wisdom teeth extraction, and I did it with no
Nice.
sedation, no
Oh, you're
no
savage.
painkillers, no painkillers. I just,
Dude.
I mean, they did local anesthesia though. I'm not
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah. But
savage, but like,
still. Oh. Oh.
yeah.
Okay, so you have a high tolerance for pain.
Yeah, and then like I don't know, I like to know about a lot of things. You got to know. So I think with trading, everybody's got to know their personality. You got to be really honest with yourself.
Yeah.
What your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. You
Yeah.
really got to know. You
Yep.
really got to know. You can't fudge it or whatever. So
Yeah.
can't lie to yourself because that's not going to help you. You got to be really honest with yourself. So for me, coming with my background in architecture, just knowing a lot of, I just like when I travel, I like to know history. I like to know culture. I just like to know a lot of things, and it's a few things I'll excel at, but I like to know a lot of things. So I approach short selling like that as well. I'll short a swing position. I was short a scalp. I was short for for those types of plays. I was short for a first red day. I'll short a pump and dump scam. I'll short a so I'll write a report on the company if I have to and fly to their front door and talk to the CEO,
To
so
justify the
and say
trade.
what
Yeah. 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 So
but
it's more like it's like you'll play the short game in a variety of ways, however the market situation is presenting itself. And really, it sounds like it's very much based on risk reward. If the risk that you're willing to lose on that trade over X amount of period of time fits into what you think the thesis might be fulfilled as, then you're going to take the trade.
that is correct. But throughout my short career, I have done one at a time. One I focused on one thing at a time. So at first it was swing shorting because I was with stocks you have PDT. I don't know if you know about that, the pattern day
Mhm.
trade rule.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can't do
you
more than 3
three,
day trades within a 5 day
yeah.
period
Yeah, under 25K
under
account. So
25K.
I was
Right.
stuck with that. So I was doing a swing trading short paid pumps, but not the Chinese ones. The Chinese ones go crazy. So I was doing like the lower risk ones
Okay.
while I learned. So I did that for a long time and so I have that under my belt. Um I learned the first red day pattern because the first red day was a high odds play that you can get a decent amount of money on. It's a really high, really good risk reward.
Right.
So that to grow accounts early on, those were good. Those took a while to develop, and those are timeless patterns, timeless skill set. And then last year, I focused a lot on like short scalping. I
Mm.
know a lot of short sellers, a lot of traders last year had a lot of problems with the equities. One thing I was doing well with uh, around February last year till the close of last year was these short term scalpy type plays, these short seller plays. And the good, the thing is I have friends that I've made with trading that someone's doing well, and then you're like, oh, you ask him, people help each other out. And then it's like, oh, so I had an idea prompted from another trader friend that I know that was doing well with that. Then I decided to do my own little version of that, and I did well with it. I just kept doing it.
Hmm.
So you track your data and you journal, and then you just tweak here and there, and then you know um, you keep doing what works, even
You're a
in a
smart guy
market is
though, bro.
giving.
I think you have to give yourself a lot of credit because you figured it out quicker than most people. It took me almost as long as you've been trading to figure, because you said you've been trading about 2.5 years, right?
2.5 years,
Bro, it took me two and a
like
half years to figure
seriously,
out that
yeah.
I should be journaling. Like the whole first 3 years of my trading, I wasn't journaling. Being young, being naive, whatever. You have to give yourself a lot of credit. You came in with the idea of I'm going to model success and I'm going to take what they do well, keep it, make it better. And what I don't like, I'm not going to take from them. You've done that very well. And that's why you've excelled at a fast pace. And not only, like, I have to give you your credit, bro. Not only excelled, you excelled to the top of the table. You post the leaderboard all the time, not so much lately because you were traveling, but when you were deep in the trading, you were always posting. It's you, Gritani, you're up there with these guys, bro. Like, I took Tim Sykes' course years ago, like before you even started trading. So like we come from very similar upbringings in that sense. Like Tim was what motivated me for technical analysis. I've seen some of Gritani's stuff. They're really sharp traders. So like you have to give yourself a lot of credit. You are a sponge, you know, you really do that well. I think it's a characteristic of all really good traders. I mean, I do 2 of these podcasts a week. I'm filming 3 or 4 of them. I'm talking to winning traders. I'm talking to new traders. I do my coaching with new traders. And I think one of the most important characteristics is being a sponge, being a learner. So give me real quick, something off the top of your mind that comes to mind when I say what makes a winning trader other than being a learner and being a sponge. What makes you a winning trader?
All right, winning trader, being relentless, disciplined, showing up either when you don't want to show up, you know. So, like having a plan and just executing the plan, whether like long-term vision for yourself, as far as not just a trading plan, but like you have a 2 to 3 year vision, 5-year vision, and you execute the vision day by day. You know, you increase your knowledge 1% every day, improving 1% a day, just compounding it over time. And you're just showing up, man, because trading is painful. And a lot of people they don't want to show up. They don't want to visit the pain. You know, they want the euphoria, they want the good times, but the pain is what that's where you grow from. That's where
where
you
you
become
find
a
the
good
value.
trader.
Yep.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah. So just being relentless in that sense, you know what I mean? Relentless for your goals to trading, and just, you know, that's what's worked for me. And the traders that I know, that I've interviewed and that I know from the trading community, my friends in trading are the same way, you know.
Yep.
So just pursuing excellence, you know.
Yeah.
So,
That's a
you
good
know,
way to
whatever
describe
you
it,
do.
because if you take the pursuing excellence and say, what does that mean? It's discipline, determination, resilience. It's all of that put together. That is what excellence
Yes.
is.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like, I think what
Yeah.
you and me definitely share, and we barely know each other other than virtually, especially like we barely know each other, but I
Oh,
think
yeah, that's right. I
you
feel
could,
like yeah.
but you can tell
I
like
didn't
we
know you
both,
were virtual. I thought you were
right,
real.
right. But you can tell
Yeah.
like we both have a very high standard. And I think if you would agree, you've interviewed traders, I've interviewed traders, the guys that are doing well have a high standard in life. Like it's on the chart and off the chart. The standard is high and it's disciplined. It's followed up with discipline, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I think it starts with that, with those qualities. And because like the learning the technicals and the fundamentals and all of that, that can be, those are learned things that you
Yes.
can, you know, you can just read it in a book or just learn it from some YouTube
Not to
videos.
make it
But
seem
the
like it's
other stuff,
easy, right? But it's
yeah,
learnable. That's a great way to
yeah,
describe it. It's learnable. Whereas some of these other psychological things are much more difficult to work through, you know, and
yeah,
sometimes not
yeah.
teachable. Sometimes, like, I don't believe everybody is built to be a trader. When people ask me, is day trading for everybody or is trading for everybody? I say no. Some people do not have the characteristics that are going to allow for success. They're going to actually cost themselves more money. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree, and you know, I've seen it quite a bit. I've always, when I started out, you know, everybody starts out. You're like, oh yeah, it could be for anybody. We can all do this, whatever.
Right.
But like I've seen a lot of good people, a lot of smart people that are excelling right now in other things
Yeah.
that just it didn't work out with trading, and
No. 100%.
it's just you know, it's you're taking, the thing is with trading too, it's a lot of risk. Like, you
Yeah.
know, I decided to, I'm doing it one way or another. I think that's one thing. Like you make a decision, and sometimes the stubbornness, it helps out. I'm a stubborn guy by nature, you know, so I've always been that way.
Yeah.
And I
I
have a
posted
painting.
that today. Did you see that on Instagram? I posted a reel that said me saying I think all successful traders are a little bit stubborn, if not a lot of bit
Yeah,
stubborn. Yeah.
yeah. I haven't seen that yet, but because like, yeah, I check all your stuff all the time. It's pretty sick.
No, but that's just
But
funny that you said the same thing.
yeah, I have two paintings on my wall here in my little trading office. One, well, I have three, I guess. One is like Tulip Mania, which is always fun.
Yeah, I saw you
But
posted that yesterday.
yeah,
You
I
said,
just
I
like
think
to,
we're here on the way down, but not at the
yeah,
bottom
which
yet.
is but it's not a good chart for the
No,
overall market because it's
no,
too
no, no.
parabolic.
Right. Too parabolic. Right. Right.
But I thought it was fun to look at it. But I have one of Hernan Cortez, the conquistador,
Okay.
burning the boats and the soldiers
Yeah,
are
I
there.
love that one. I love that. I know that
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, and I got it from like there was a oh yeah, so in the playbook, Mike Bellafiore mentions
Yeah.
it in like one of the first chapters. He mentions there's a YouTube video of this guy, this motivational speaker guy, talking about Hernan Cortez' story of burning the boats. So and I love that story the way it was described in the YouTube video from Mike Bellafiore's book. I got a painting of it to remind myself, and I decided this is early on. This is like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago that I did that, and I bought the painting and stuff. So I
Yeah.
decided to burn the boats, but I had already decided to burn the boats, but I didn't relate it to that quote until
And you
then. But
never
like
felt
it's
that?
I think
You didn't feel that when you were in architecture?
to burn the boats for architecture, like I'm
Yeah.
doing the architecture. Not really. I thought, okay, this is what I'm doing, architecture. I really loved it. I excelled at architecture. It's just financially it didn't make sense. And then I finished school with so much debt. I'm talking about more than a
A
couple
couple
hundred
of
thousand
bags.
dollars.
A couple of
A couple
bags.
of bags.
Couple of
A couple of bags.
bags. Yeah,
A
yeah,
couple
bro.
of
But
bags.
you and a lot of other
So
people, bro. A lot of other people finished with debt as well. So
yeah.
it's not just you.
So it's like that's a good question. I never thought of it like that. So like I did not burn the boats for I actually when I was in undergrad doing architecture, I told some of my friends in architecture class, hey, let's start this firm. We can start this competitions when we finish and we go to grad school and stuff. We can start our own firm when we get our masters and we can just do our passion and like we don't even need to get money. The money is gonna come. We're just gonna design all this cool stuff and win these international competitions to get but like that was so yeah, how you to win a competition like that. So not only me, but like my three other friends were just not going to get paid for 6 months, a year. It doesn't make any
Doesn't
sense.
make any sense. No, and it
And
seems
with
like
all
you're
that debt.
dude, it seems like you're way too entrepreneurial as well to be
Yeah.
stuck in a job that has limitations on its income and things like that. You're too creative and too self-driven, too self-motivated. I think that, people don't talk about enough the value in that trading is unlimited income potential, but also lifestyle potential. And I feel like you're doing a really good job at maximizing both of those. You're traveling. I mean, how many countries have you been to?
I lost count, man. I got to
Dude,
recount. I was going to
that's
do that
impressive.
recently.
Just that
It's
alone.
like this got to be like 60, 70.
That's
I don't know, something
crazy,
like
bro.
that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I plan on going. I was actually today. I found a really cheap ticket to Oslo, Norway,
Nice.
Oslo.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm planning in the summer of Oslo. I don't like cold weather, man. So
No,
like
no,
I'm not a
no.
cold weather guy.
No, of
But
course.
around June, it's
Nice. It'll
warm
be
over there.
beautiful. Dude, it'll be beautiful.
Yeah, and then Europe is easy to go around. So like I plan on jumping around maybe 5 countries or so, and then head back.
That's awesome,
So
bro. And listen, real quick,
yeah.
because I know we got to wrap it up here in a few minutes. I wanted to ask you about that. Can you speak a little bit to the people about how you manage trading and traveling? Do you not trade at all while you're traveling? Like, how do you make it work? Because I don't trade when I travel. I just check out completely. I do enough trading when I'm
Yeah.
here. So what are your thoughts? How do you make it work?
I take swing positions.
Okay.
So usually before I travel, I will I'll have a swing positions. Those like 3 or 4 stocks maybe. I will swing with smaller size than usual because I don't want to be stressed out while traveling. But like these swings are short swings, but they're very low risk short swings because I picked the heavily diluted one. I picked the one that's been promoted that has less squeeze
A
potential.
higher
I choose
probability trade. So you move to like
yeah,
trading higher
very high
probability trades when you're not going
and
to be able to
small.
manage it and smaller position when you won't be
Yeah.
managing it at the desk as much.
So I'll be just exiting the trade as I'm
Piecing
traveling
out of
here
it.
and
Yep.
there.
Yep.
And if not, I just keep holding it, because but I usually travel, I go hard for like 3 months at a time now, and then I'll go travel, and then I'll do 3 months again hard and then travel. So I like that's the way I've been doing it.
How do
That's
you
why I
stay
did it last year, and I
disciplined?
really
Because like you know me, I'm a workout guy like you. I try to eat really healthy. How do you stay disciplined when you're traveling with those things? Do you not travel for long periods of time so you can come back and reset, or like how do you make it work?
What do you mean? Like
Like,
with
because I hate it when I
working
go
out and
away.
stuff like that?
You go away and like you travel to a different time zone and you don't have your gym, you don't have your food, you
Yeah,
don't have,
yeah,
how do
man.
you balance that back? Like, do you just
Well,
not go away for a long time? Because I know you traveled
I do.
recently for months.
Yeah, yeah. The last one was a big one. It's like a month
Yeah.
and a half.
Yeah.
What I do is a lot of push-ups, and I like a keto diet, so I just stick to keto and as much as I can, and then I'll do a lot of push-ups. Oh, I walk a lot, so
There you go.
I don't take I like when I'm traveling, I walk the most,
Yeah.
so
It's true.
a lot of walking, so, but like ideally I would like I'm a big calisthenics guy. I like to do a lot of pull-ups and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Body
like
weight stuff. That's good.
uh yeah, it's tough to do when you travel.
No,
But
but
like
it's
the
good.
last time I traveled was like, yeah, it was a long period, but usually it's about 2 weeks max.
Yeah.
2 weeks is kind of, you know, but
That's what I
like
feel.
traveling, yeah, you're gonna take a hit. Like I'm not gonna be at my optimum stuff, you know what I mean? So
Of course. Of course. So what do you got coming up the rest of this year? Tell the audience and everybody listening. I'm sure we kept everybody all the way through on this one, bro. You're such a good talker, such an entertaining guy. I'm sure we could have so many more stories for our next
oh thanks,
episode.
man.
So yeah, bro, of
Oh, for
course.
sure. Yeah, I'm loaded, man.
You definitely are.
Uh
So what's coming up this year? Tell everybody where can they find you and what's coming up this year from you? Just the podcast. What
all
else you got
right.
cooking?
Yeah, I got the podcast, the Friendly Bear podcast. I plan on doing over 300 more episodes this year. I'm fully booked like the next month. Um I got like this project coming out in March. You guys will people will know about it later. Um yeah, I have some goals for myself, man. I gotta cross certain milestones that I set for myself and just focus, you know, travel, stuff like that.
Where are you going
But yeah, you
next?
can find me on Twitter, Reverse Long on Twitter,
Nice.
Reverse Long on Instagram. Where am I going next?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm definitely doing Oslo in June,
Have you ever
but
been
I
to
don't know.
Florida?
Yeah, I'm from Miami, of
Oh yeah,
course.
I forgot you're from
Yeah,
Miami. I forgot because
yeah, I
James
bet.
confused me at the beginning when he asked if you were from Puerto
Puerto
Rico. I was like, I
Rico.
don't think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Well, no, I lived in Puerto Rico all 2021, and I'm gonna go back for the tax stuff. But
got it.
yeah, Puerto Rico's cool too. But
Bro, let's meet up in London in December. I'll be doing a seminar in London. Let's meet up in London.
that sounds good, man. I'm always down to travel, so yeah, for
I know.
sure. I'll be in. I've never been to London, believe it or not. So that's one of the
Really?
places.
If
Yeah.
with all your traveling, you've never been to London. That's crazy, bro. It's not,
Nah,
it's
I haven't
honestly
been.
all the London people are gonna talk shit if I say this at the end, but it's fine because it's just another city, bro. It's like New York. And like I hate big cities. There's so much more in the world than big cities. I'd like to see some of the cities that you have seen that are in Asia and stuff that are just designed
Yeah.
differently. I'd like to just see it, but I could do a day and then I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I feel. So I'm more like getting out into the country and seeing the culture a little bit more than the city life, you know? Like I know you are as well.
Yeah. I'm either way. I love
You
cities,
love the
love
architecture.
architecture.
I saw the
I
pictures you were
love nature
taking.
too. I love
Yeah.
nature as well. You know, all things about nature is like wonderful. So,
I
but
love it,
yeah,
bro.
I'll be there in London, man. I'll be there in the fog with you, man.
Let's do it, bro. Yeah, December, beautiful time to be in London. It was fucking cold, bro. It was so cold. But listen, I appreciate you, Dave. This has been awesome. Everybody, make sure you follow David at Reverse Long everywhere. We'll make sure we link everything in the description. And listen, if you listened all the way through, drop a comment. Let us know what you liked, what you didn't like. If you have any questions for David next time we bring him on, make sure you put those down below as well. We appreciate you for listening, Dave. I'll see you in a few weeks. Hopefully, we'll talk more. Maybe do another episode in March when that new project is coming out.
Awesome. Thanks, Austin. I'll see you
Yeah, you're
later.
welcome, bro.